life-altering decisions, and that should always be the priority, love.
You wanted to have a conversation,
It's
sir?
wild to support sterilizing children.
To me, this suggests to me that you are in favor of gender dysphoria and high suicide rates.
So, the suicide thing is a total myth.
She's got evidence here from Journal of the American Medical Association supported studies.
Yeah.
You know better than the Journal of the American Medical Association, huh?
Did you listen to the Supreme Court hearings in early December?
Little pieces, bits and pieces.
Okay.
But from everything I heard, like the science, like there's junk science and there's better science.
So
the
the
predominance
woman-
of the science, preponderance of the science is on the side that she's
So the
having
woman from the ACLU got up there and admitted to the Supreme Court justice that there actually is not an epidemic of completed suicides. Those were her words. They're obviously struggling. We know from the Gender Identity Development Clinic in England, for example, that 70% of the kids who showed up at that clinic had 5 or more coexisting mental health comorbidities. So obviously when children are struggling with a variety of mental health problems, yes, suicidality is going to be higher. But you don't cure suicidality by turning someone into a lifelong medical patient.
What's causing that suicidality? In a lot of cases, I think it's gender dysphoria.
So in many of these...
causing those mental health suffering and causing what leads to suicidality.
So what's the cause of this dysphoria?
How much wishful thinking it is.
That the gender they feel does not match the sex they were assigned at birth.
Well, I just mentioned to you how 70% of the kids that showed up to these clinics had 5 or more coexisting mental health comorbidities. A ton of them have suffered sexual abuse. A lot of them have autism, actually. 35% of the kids at the Tavistock had moderate to severe autism. And don't you think we should maybe be looking into these other issues instead of treating gender as though it's the source of all of their ills?
I don't treat it like it's the source of all of their ills.
But they're not treating all these other problems. They just say, oh, well, you must be trans because you don't identify as your sex. So instantly on your first appointment, we're going to prescribe you with puberty blockers.
They're getting therapy for all the things going on in their lives.
What are they?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Because I've been having conversations about this.
Antidepressants, they're on ADHD meds,
Right.
they've been addressing all the things long before, and that treatment and care started long before any talk about gender.
Well, it should start long before, but the fact of the matter is a lot of these kids aren't getting help for all of these other conditions. They're only being treated for this so-called gender identity, which is total nonsense, quasi-religious, pseudo-scientific garbage in the first place. We don't have gender identities, we have personalities. There's no right or wrong way to be a girl or a boy. Why are we telling tomboys that they're actually boys on the inside?
What society is telling people that, so then they don't.
Yeah, and they shouldn't. We should tell them that they can present however they want, but they're not born in the wrong body. That's an abusive message.
Some people do feel, I think society, the societal oppression you're talking about is a problem.
Pardon me?
I think the societal, like gender roles and gender presentation things are a major problem.
I say all the time, there's no right or wrong way to be a boy or a girl.
Yeah.
If they don't conform to stereotypes, that's fine, but we shouldn't be sterilizing them and cutting off their body parts.
But some people do. You think that like there's no such thing as people who feel trans?
So there's no such thing as a transgender person. That's just a label. Yeah, all right.
It's an identity. Like if you identify, that's how you identify. That's how you feel. Like I feel like
being a man or a woman, a boy or a girl is not a feeling. It's a biological reality.
It's identify.
No,
how you identify.
It's not a feeling.
It's how you identify
yourself.
Yeah,
but that whole thing is garbage. This whole identification thing is nonsense. You don't get to identify as a boy or girl. You either are a boy or girl or you are not.
Like saying,
you don't get to identify as one.
Race is there's no scientific basis to race, so there's no such thing as race. But like in society,
actually,
there is such a thing as race.
You're making my argument for me because obviously I can't identify as a black man.
Yeah, but people say like, oh, there's no such thing as race because scientifically there's no like distinction here between like where the races divide.
Okay, well, can I be a black man? Can I identify as a black man?
What's the connection here?
Can I or can I not?
No.
But I can identify as a woman.
Sure.
Why the discrepancy here?
Because what makes race is the societal things that people have been treated and have generations and societal oppressions. Who gets followed around stores? Who gets treated?
Oppression determines race?
Basically, yeah, because biologically
not skin color?
Well, oppression.
Not where my ancestors are from?
Oppression deriving from skin color.
But I can't identify as a black man.
There's people who pass as white and people who pass different ways.
Sure.
There's no scientific basis for it. It's all an illusion.
But I want to know why I personally, clearly a white man, I want to know why I can identify as a woman, but I can't identify as a black man. That seems pretty discriminatory to me.
They're totally different things, totally different types of issues.
Well, in one case, you're saying it's okay to play make-believe, and in the other, you're saying it's not.
Make-believe.
Well, I'm not a woman.
It's who in your body, in your hormones, in who you're attracted to, in your what you feel, who you feel like you are and want to be.
Okay, well, I feel like a black man.
No, gender is that way.
Gender is, but not race.
Race is about a social contract from history.
Race is a social construct.
Absolutely.
Really? I'm learning so many things here today. All right. That was amazing.
That was so good.
Did you hear that?
I missed a little bit of that. What did he say? Race is what?
Race is a social construct.
It was made up by Portuguese
Oh,
slave
hi.
traders. Race was made up by Portuguese slave
Race
traders.
was made up.
Yes, by Portuguese slave traders.
Wow.
Nobody thought about race. There was no such construct. They made that up to justify their exploitation
Okay.
of the people they were enslaving.
Okay.
That's
So
absolutely the
one
history.
last question
Positively
for
the
you.
history.
What
you look
is-
surprised and like you like to cite all this like pseudo scientific facts from whatever they come from.
I'm
but
very surprised. I've had.
You know what country had slavery the longest?
I don't know that.
Do you know what
So-
ethnicity is the only ethnicity to have the APOL1 gene? Yeah.
May I ask you one final question? What is a woman?
I am not well enough educated on gender to be able to say that.
Okay, but you're telling me that a man can identify as a woman, so if he's identifying as a woman, what is that he's identifying as?
That's up to him. That's up to him to define. Or her in that case, her.
This is really fascinating stuff. I don't get it. All right.